So I just thought of this today because I was watching a video about the making of The Exorcist, and it seems that William Friedkin, the director, was kind of a monster on the set. That he was just kind of out of control, and he could be abusive, and there were people that he there were actors that he smacked across the face, things that you definitely wouldn't be able to get away with today, and just and so forth. But anyway, um, the question it raised was it if his behavior made uh, made the movie better, if it brought out a better performance in the actors, then was it was that worth it? I mean, was it is it worth the trade off? And I would say no. I would say even if it could be shown that his behavior actually made the actors act better, um, which I doubt. I don't think actors uh, act well when they are uh, in an environment of stress. And I speak from experience about on this front. I haven't been in any big time Hollywood movies, obviously, but I do remember being in a couple of college plays with this kind of would be hotshot, uh, college, head of the theater department guy who was very abusive um, but also could be charming and self effacing, and the sort of all the kind of traits that you see in a manipulative, narcissistic kind of personality. Somebody who is just aggressively abusive, but then turns around and is charming, and you're just sort of you're caught off guard because you want to hate him, and now he makes it so that you kind of like him, or you don't know how to feel about him, and it's all part of that same you know cluster of personalities. I would say that uh, if I were to go back in time and have those experiences again, I would have quit. There's no doubt in my mind. I would have walked off the set uh, and said, you know, find yourself another Demetrius. I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I don't need this. Uh, you know, I've got enough on my plate right now. As a 19-year-old in college, trying to deal with everything, with the transition uh, from living at home to being in this college environment and everything that goes along with it, and trying to find my footing and everything. Uh, I kind of got off on a tangent there. I didn't intend to talk about that so much. Um, Anyone who is interested, though, in a fuller account of my experiences, uh, I recorded them. I can't believe I'm doing this right now, but since I broached the topic, I actually wrote about this, and maybe I'll update that article and put it on my Substack page. And but maybe if I remember, I'll leave the link below to that original article, which I wrote a long time ago. But what brought all the anyway, the reason I started talking about what I was talking about before getting off on that tangent, which may be related in some way to ultimately to what I'm talking about, I think, or maybe not. Um, but there's a scene in The Exorcist originally that was cut. Now, The Exorcist was this, for those who don't know or don't aren't old enough to remember, and I'm not really old enough to remember either. The release, because it was 74. I was 3 years old, so I don't remember the release, but it was this huge sensation. Nobody had seen anything like it before. It was like this. People were passing out in the movie theater. People were vomiting. Uh, just like poor Reagan in the movie was vomiting. That green stuff. People were just. It was an ordeal, and people were going to the movie theater to put themselves through this ordeal. Knowing it was sort of like an endurance test. Now, looking back now, it's sort of tame. It's pretty tame in some ways, and the effects are a little cheesy, but I think it still holds up pretty well in a lot of ways. And theologically speaking, it's definitely interesting. But a scene that was originally cut from The Exorcist is one where the older priest, who played by Max von Sydow, and the younger priest are talking. They're sort of taking a break from this grueling exorcism of this young girl, and they're talking. And the younger priest says, "I don't get it. Why is the devil doing this? Why does the demonic realm care about a 12-year-old girl? Why it seems like such a trivial. It would be such a trivial thing to them. Why do they do it?" And Max von Sydow, who plays the older priest, says, "I think it's because they want us to despair. They want us to see this formerly innocent young girl. I mean, she was innocent still in her soul, but to see this innocent young girl being taken over in this way and become this hideous, grotesque creature, just uttering the worst kind of blasphemies that you can imagine, and so forth. That's why they do it. It's to demoralize us, and there's nothing even necessarily demonic about demoralization or inducing demoralization. It's a tactic in every war. I mean, I'm sure I think it's probably in The Art of War, which I've never read. It seems like I've made reference to The Art of War a couple of times. I should probably read it so that I can just say that I have read it. But in fairness, I have not read it. But I'm betting that there's probably a section in that book about demoralizing the enemy, and because it's a part of every campaign and every war. Both sides want to tell the other side, "Look, you guys, you're fighting a hopeless cause. You've lost already. Aren't you sad? Aren't you? If when they talk to people on the home front, they say, your sons and your husbands are marching to their own destruction, all for naught, all for a cause that doesn't even has no meaning. That that they're just being forced into this slaughterhouse for and sacrificing life and limb for nothing." And of course, demoralization campaigns work best when the demoralizer is using some truth, right? The devil doesn't tell flat out lies. He tells the truth, but he only tells part of the truth. He tells the part of the truth that will cause you to sin, or cause you to despair, or in some other way not bring out the best in you. So this is all just kind of a roundabout way of saying, be careful what you say, be careful what you put out there. I'm not telling anybody to censor themselves, or I'm not saying we should just be stupidly optimistic. But you know, there have been times where I've gotten online, uh, where I've, you know, when I was on Facebook or now when I'm on Instagram, I'm not on social media as much as I used to be, partly because Zuck's crew kicked me off of Facebook, which was a blessing in disguise, I think. But you know, there are times where it just seems like I don't want to read the people. I don't want to hear from the people who are on my side, because it just seems like they're just all broadcasting that they just all are thrusting the grotesquerie of things in my face, and they're thrusting the, you know, it's essentially what they're doing is demoralizing. And you know, when it seems like I come down too hard on the black pill, you know, it's not. You have to believe me when I say it's not because I think everything is hunky dory. You know, it's not because you know, you should just be happy and optimistic all the time. But I just think some people maybe don't. Maybe you just get so caught up in venting, or maybe there's something kind of satisfying about feeling like, you know, you're not one of those dumb optimists who thinks that everything's going well. But even though I don't know who thinks that. But maybe there's just something about just being, you know, maybe it's a way of feeling. You know, it's like a. Um, I don't know what the word would be, but psychologically speaking, maybe it serves the same function that venting or you know, that catharsis has. Maybe there's something cathartic about just going on and being as black pilled as you want to be. But what you don't keep in what you don't what people I think don't think of enough is the effect that this has on others, and how you're basically doing the enemy's bidding for him. Uh, because the enemy wants us to be demoralized. If you demoralize your enemy, you are on a better footing in the war than you are if your enemy is energized and not necessarily, you know, upbeat, but I don't know, ready to fight, eager to fight. Uh, you know, living the life of the happy warrior, let us say. So, this is a long roundabout way of saying your words do have effect on others. The stuff you put out there, whether it's in a, you know, and whether it's just in some post under a YouTube video, or whether it's in a YouTube video, or some other media, you know, wherever you choose to express yourself, your words have power, and people will read them. And if you are leading people down the road to despair or demoralization, then you're not doing right by people. You're not doing right by your comrades, let us say, your fellow soldiers in the fight. So yeah, that's where I'll end this kind of roundabout discussion, but it's kind of a little bit late. So thank you for following me through my tortured, convoluted presentation here, and I'll talk to y'all soon.